did a segment on floods 4 years ago. Damn, he's good.
Floods. They are clearly catastrophic, traumatic events, although they have also been
Why is this
responsible for one of the
1p?
most memorable clips in the history of broadcast news.
Good morning. Well, obviously we're getting a nice break from the rain, but not the flooding. This is essentially now a part of the Passaic River in this neighborhood.
Why did they let that happen, by the way?
Fuck James Cameron and fuck Titanic, because that is now officially the greatest boat disaster ever captured on film. It's over. Now, floods were everywhere this summer. Think of them as the Despacito of natural disasters. Persistent, ubiquitous, and absolutely no fault of the Puerto Rican government. And floods are always threatening. 90% of all natural disasters in the US involve a flood, which is, I assume, the reason that FEMA's website once referred to flooding as America's #1 natural hazard, ! Which is a...
Well, now we got mass shootings, brother.
pretty weird tone to take when describing something horrible. It's like saying boils, America's #1 staph infection, or parks, America's #1 place to die unnoticed. And floods are only going to get worse due to climate change. And I know that there are people who will dispute that, and we just don't have time tonight to litigate whether extreme weather events are exacerbated by climate change. So for now, let's just say...
They are.
Yeah, they just definitely are. I mean, sure, it is a complicated issue, and we may not have definitive proof until the late 1980s. But while floods are often referred to as natural disasters, the truth is the damage they do is often, to some extent, within our control. Because we have made certain decisions that put and keep people and property in the path of flooding. And that is what this story is about. And before we go any further, let's acknowledge that people live near water for all sorts of reasons. For some, it's where their families have lived for generations, or a necessity for the work that they do. For others, it's a luxury. And living next to the water is undoubtedly attractive, despite the risks, like flooding, or stepping on pointy seashells, or mistakenly giving a Tostito to a seagull without realising that that means that you will now spend the rest of your life haunted by a Tostito-addicted seagull. The point is, whatever the reason to live by the water, many do... Oh, for fuck's sake! You've got to be kidding! I don't have...
Oh my God, it was so much worse. Like, this show was so much worse with the fucking memes like this.
Have any Tostitos? I've been telling you that for 6 years. Look, no Tostitos. No Tostitos. Get out of here. Get out of here, you flying beach rat. Sorry. The point is, the dangers of waterfront living are real, but many people, like this man who lives on the water in Tampa Bay, feel the benefits outweigh the risks.
Mark knows that life here is tenuous, but he doesn't dwell on it.
Every morning when I walk out to get the paper, I see dolphins frolicking in the bayou and roseate spoonbills walking around the edge of the bayou, so it tends to make you forget about all those sorts of things.
Sure, I can imagine that seeing a roseate spoonbill would take your mind off things because you're spending your whole day trying to figure out how a flamingo could have gotten its stupid bird face stuck into a panini press. I'm just saying, even people who like birds don't like this bird. The Audubon Society, an organisation whose entire purpose is to champion birds, says they are, quote, gorgeous at a distance and bizarre up close. Which is like the American Kennel Club saying, we celebrate all dogs and honour them as man's best friend. But the Dandy Dinmont has a trash personality and looks like a Scotty fucked Phil Spector. And look, if you are literally overlooking a bayou like that guy, you are probably aware.
Bro, I'm not gonna watch a 2-hour documentary on levees, dude. Are you crazy? Shatter was like, dude, oh, we're watching levees? That's my shit, bro. I've been in the levee business for 7 generations, brother. Like, I could watch a documentary on levees for fucking 2 hours.
That flooding is a risk, but not every flood-prone area is directly along the coast, and sometimes aggressive development can exacerbate the risk of flooding, even considerably inland. Just look at Houston, which was recently rocked by Harvey.
The metro area's development has exploded. One study found the Houston area has added 25% more pavement over 15 years, replacing soil-rich wetlands that could absorb water with concrete-covered suburbia.
Exactly, and that made Harvey's damage significantly worse. Concrete isn't good at absorbing water. That is why people don't dry off at the beach by rolling around in the parking lot. But it's not just global warming or unchecked growth that have put more people in risky flood-prone areas. It's also the fact that it's frequently only possible for people to take that risk because they have flood insurance. Just look at Buying the Beach. It's a house hunters type show for people who want to live near the water. And one episode featured two brothers named Mitch and Daniel arguing over a particular beach house, which led to this exchange.
What'd you think about the island house, Mitch?
Well, I think there was a lot of good and a lot of bad on it. Right off the steps into the beach, can't be beat.
We are really close to the water. That's just another thing that's got me concerned.
Well, that's what insurance is for.
That's what insurance is for. That may be the most reckless statement ever said on a boat. And I'm very much including, I can definitely make this shot work. And, hey, let's feed these gulls some Tostitos. I don't have any. All I did was said the word. Get out of here. No Tostitos. No Tostitos.
Oh my God. Wait, the UK company developed permeable pavement that can drink 1,000 liters of water per square meter mile in a minute? Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, I don't think from 2015, bro. Someone should have told Houston. Just saying. It can't exist in cold weather at all, though. Oh, it doesn't work in Houston because when it freezes, the water inside breaks the concrete. Bro, that's so weird, dude. I can't believe they found footage of your mom when she watches my broadcast, dude. That's crazy. I'm so fucking proud of myself for that one. That was good as fuck, dude.
But Mitch, no Tostitos! But Mitch isn't wrong. That if they bought that house, they could get flood insurance, and surprisingly cheaply. And it's worth taking some time to understand why that is the case. Because, unlike other forms of homeowners insurance, flood protection is actually underwritten by the government through the NFIP, or National Flood Insurance Programme. It started nearly 50 years ago after historic floods wiped out many people's homes in the 1960s. And the government back then realised that there was a real problem. Insurance companies wouldn't cover floods at an affordable cost because it was too risky. So because of that, the government was spending way too much on disaster relief. So they stepped in and created the NFIP, which offered significantly discounted insurance to encourage people to buy it. And that sounds great, but crucially, the aim at the time was not that people would be staying in at-risk homes permanently, as the programme's current administrator explains.
They presumed that if we told people they were at risk, they would move. They presumed that over the life of the program, those discounts wouldn't need to be continued. And they presumed they wouldn't need to be continued because once people knew they had the risk, they would move out. That has not proven true.
No, but of course it hasn't, because that's not how people work. We will gladly accept huge risks to our personal safety for the sake of a discount. That was the entire premise behind the McDonald's dollar menu. And that is just one of the many flaws with how this well-intentioned program was designed, because everything about it, from who participates to where the money goes to the incentives it creates, needs fixing. And let's start with the fact that eligibility for the program is determined through floodplain maps. You are required to buy flood insurance if you have a federally backed mortgage and FEMA's maps show that you live in a risky area. Unfortunately, the mandate has been poorly enforced, meaning that lots of people don't buy insurance who should, and the maps themselves can be both out of date and wildly inaccurate. In fact, just days before Harvey struck, a study of Houston area flood maps was published, and the results were alarming.
Over the course of a decade, researchers at Rice University and Texas A&M Galveston studied one section of Southeast Harris County. They found FEMA's floodplain maps missed about 75% of the damages from the storms.
75%? At that point, you might as well predict floods by having blindfolded 6-year-olds pin little cardboard puddles onto city maps at birthday parties. But even if all the maps were perfect, there would be another flaw with the NFIP, which is how it's administered. You see, typically, the government doesn't directly insure you. Instead, it pays private insurance companies a fee for every policy they sell. But not just that. The federal government is then responsible for covering any losses, which is a pretty fucking sweet deal for those companies. They take none of the risk, and yet they get all the rewards. But it gets even worse, because they also get paid for each claim they handle.
Getting close to the eye right now. We're starting to lose on the roofs. It's unbelievable. You got this tractor trailer that's coming. Tractor trailer right here. Oh, shit. That's an 18-wheeler trailer. It just flew from the pasture.
Christ. Reed Subaru wouldn't have gotten swept away like that. True. Literally true. This photo is so fucking funny. Whoever drew this sat down mad as hell at everything and let it all out. Got hate in your heart, let it out. That's what this man said. Let's see what the photo has. The University of Radical Feminist Praxis, Cuck Zone, Tofu Burgers, Quinoa Shakes, Ancient Grains, Pronoun Police, arresting people. There's a lady there saying, next time say they, them. Department of Biology, intersectionality. Title 9, they put a man on a cross and they're burning him alive. They're breaking down the classics department. They put up a statue of Mao Zedong and Karl Marx. I mean, that'd be sick. Let's go, social justice warriors. Wait, I don't get this. Women are winning in sports? What's the problem there? Like, just automatically he's implying that it's bad that a black woman won a competition? That I kind of don't understand. There's just a mosque on the college campus. Again, don't know why that's bad or weird. And then people are saying free Palestine. I don't understand how that's like a bad thing. Forgive us. I'm sorry for being white. Feelings over facts. Keep it PC, please. Tolerance is key. Events, interfaith orgy, create your own pronouns party, freshman formal theme, freeze speech, privilege check, your special snowflake, know your genders. Dude, it's really funny. The your special snowflake meme is so funny because like every Republican unironically thinks they're like a special snowflake. Like, they love having their idiotic grievances be heard that no one gives a fuck about. They're, like, constantly crying about shit. Give conservatives a platform. Okay, so there is a free speech. See, they're doing a demonstration. College of Grievance Studies. Oh, that makes sense. Because some of the stuff doesn't make sense. It's the leftists that made it. Like, I was like, why is there a mosque there? Like, that's not a bad thing. Some of these. This was actually a parody image drawn by Chelsea Saunders, a black woman, to mock conservative anxieties over social justice activism. There's no official difference between genuine conservatism and parody. No, there are. There are. Like, pronoun police makes sense. You know, those are like conservative grievances. But some of the stuff conservatives wouldn't like fucking put as a negative openly. You know what I mean? Like, conservatives don't like having mosques on college campuses. But they wouldn't, like, openly state it, I feel like. Or maybe they would. Maybe I'm wrong. They don't hide their Islamophobia, but... What are you smoking? My local mosque was firebombed 3 times during construction because it was built next to a church. Motherfucker, I'm Muslim. Like, I know that they hate Muslims. Like, I lived through an era. I wasn't in America at the time, but I remember, like, seeing it in the news when the mosque was being built next to Ground Zero. And, like, so many Americans were just like, that's like building a Nazi memorial next to, like, the Holocaust memorial or something. It was like, how? Like, so many fucking people. I mean, do you guys remember that?